Woo! Nice one, Jake.
Yeah, that was good.
Welcome back to the Corridor Digital Podcast, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Who do we got here today? We got the fabled, the infamous Nico Peringer. Nico, say hi.
Hi.
We've got the ever-talented and charming Clinton Jones.
Always charming and
Charmed.
talented. Yes, yes.
And, of course, we have the undeniable, the charismatic, the eighth wonder of the world, Ren Weichman.
The eighth.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. At what point, like, how old do you have to get? What age do you reach when you start clapping on 1 and 3 versus 2 and 4?
What?
You know, it's like having a good time, having a good time. Yeah,
it's 2 and 4.
Yeah, and then when you get so old, you're like having a good time, having a good time. Yeah. You know,
It sounds so clunky the other way.
like how old do you have to be to like hit that? Is there a transition?
Is that
point?
an age thing?
Yeah, once you turn 40.
Once you turn 40, that's when.
Yeah.
Was I doing that when I was like?
No.
No, Jake was playing the banjo and we were on the 2s and 4s, feeling good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing the
Because I know you were on the offbeat from me.
Yes.
Yeah. But I didn't
When
know
you
which
like
one I
start
was
doing
on.
this,
Yeah. You know.
Specifically on the 1.
Yeah, you have that like you don't really know how to do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
in terms
actually
of
clapping with,
dancing,
like,
and you're
fingers
just like
open.
kind of awkwardly, yeah.
Like I think it's like
Yeah.
65. You know.
I think it's sooner than that. I think 55. I'm calling it 55.
Yeah.
When you just cut out one of them and just hit it on the 1s. Having a good time. Having a good time.
Well, that's like a build up. That's like a start to a build up.
Oh.
You know, if you.
When you get younger, is it just like the beginning of like a drop, like from a dubstep song? It's like clap, 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 clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think we've solved it for everyone here.
As soon as I start clapping on the 1 and 3, like unintentionally, you can put me down.
Like how you like insult you?
No. Like
Okay.
you can kill me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
Adam, put me in my
Got it.
misery. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? It's December. It is
December.
Yeah.
December
Yeah.
right now.
You're right.
Yeah, it is. It's the 10th month of the year, guys. December.
Yes.
Is it deceptive?
December was the 10th month of the year before Julius Caesar and Augustus came
Yeah, I was about
along.
to say it was July and August got added in there and
Wait,
threw
'cause
everything
Deca?
off.
Yeah, DEC. That's what it means.
That's so.
The same reason why
Dang it.
October, Octo,
Yeah.
Wow.
is 10 and not 8. It used to be the 8th month of the year.
October.
I didn't know that. That's
So
crazy.
which one's
I'm
slipped
kind of
in?
disappointed.
It
we're
was
so
August
messed
and
up
July
now.
because they were named after the Romans, the famous
Julius Caesar, July.
Well, did they also just discover that 10 months didn't fit within a year?
I don't remember.
Yeah, they were really into tens. You know, they had the whole like
Really trying to force
Roman
the-
numeral thing.
the base 10
They're like,
metric
guys,
system."
please don't ask us to write anything to a billion because that's gonna be real hard for us.
Wait, what?
But they were obsessed with tens.
So I know that a year is basically based on the cycles of the moon.
Well, I mean, a year is based on one full revolution around
sorry, you're
the
right.
sun.
The year is based on one full revolution around the sun, which happens to more or less coincide with 12 cycles
that's crazy,
of the moon.
right? It's coincidence.
Yeah, and it's almost exactly off. I can't remember what it is, but basically it's like a quarter day offset. So that's why every 4 years you have a whole day that you make up for the leap year.
The leap year. Yeah.
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 But why is time, and for that matter, like circles? Why is that all base 6?
What do you mean base 6?
Like
Timeline? Time is not measured in lines. It's why clocks are round.
Yeah,
What?
don't you know that? Don't you know that?
no, but like
Thank you,
have,
RVB.
you have 60 minutes to an hour. You have 60 seconds to a minute. It's base 6.
Oh, but wasn't that
Kind
all
of.
just like
Yeah.
this is convenient? Like it's like these numbers fit. Like this is like you could chop it up any way you want. You
Well,
could
but like why 360 degrees? Why is it not just like 100 degrees in a circle?
Oh man, I could totally answer this if I just had like a couple hours to just like sit down and research it, but I don't have it fresh in my memory.
Okay, here. Like the known truth is that the Earth takes 365 days to go around the sun, right?
Yeah.
That is how long we have declared it
Yes, 365.
Yeah, it's not exact. It's not exact.
365
That's why there's a
rotations of
leap
the
year.
Earth brings us to the same point, more or less.
That's the marketable number.
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
like
365 days a year. Yeah.
It's actually
okay.
like 365 and like a quarter.
Okay, so Neil deGrasse Tyson explained this. He said that the leap year, he said that the Gregorian calendar that we currently use, the leap
Gregory.
year and the 12 months and the 24 hours and the 365, that whole thing is the most precise that we've been able to do so far, because apparently the amount that it's off by when we accommodate for the leap year is so minuscule that it's something like hundreds of thousands of years from now it'll be off by like a day.
Wow.
Dude, that's a
Interesting.
movie. That's a movie when it's like when you hit that moment, like boom. It's like, wait a second. A day has escaped us. Like, where did that day go?
100,000 years later.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see some clarifications in the comments about more specifics to this question.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you guys know exactly how precise this is, please let us know, because we don't. But from what we've heard, it's pretty precise. So anyway, December.
Yeah, so the crazy
not
thing
only
about
is it
December-
the 10th month of the year, it's also a perfect calendar, but it also brings up a perfect time to consider, what you've done that year, and really, what is it about the next year that you want to do better or do differently? And Clint, I know you're a pretty introspective guy. Have you thought about that at all this year yet? Or are you still kind of formulating your plans and your thoughts?
Both. Yeah, both.
Okay.
Like Christmas time. I mean, I do gather thoughts throughout the year. You got me hooked on Trello, Jake. So I've been using that to like.
Clint's the one keeping the recorder
Yeah.
Trello alive.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored.
That's true. But no, I do like enjoy tracking goals and stuff, and having whatever program you want to use to do that is nice. And I do have like a to-do list on there that's just a forever to-do list, and then it's broken down month, week, day, and then there's a completed one. So
you cross them over into the completed category?
that's the best part, dude. That's the freaking best part. Like,
It's the reward.
I just
for
delete
checking.
them
delete
when I'm done with
No,
them.
no,
Yeah.
because here's the thing. Like you just said, Jake, like, you go over what you've accomplished in the year. So like, I'll scroll through my completed list and be like, what did I like really complete? Like, take out the trash, like, whatever. But like, make a website or sell prints or whatever. Like, it's like, yeah, that was like a moment. Like it took time to get to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a mix. I have things I want to do. I still have stuff to think about it too. Like Christmas break for me is a really good time to get away and just like catch up on things that I know I've wanted to catch up on, like One Punch Man. Like I've never seen One Punch Man. I need to watch One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Is the sequel Two Punch Man?
He didn't get worse.
I was gonna that was a rough pun. I was gonna make a joke about putting ketchup on things because you said you wanted to catch up on things. Anyways,
Our minds are just
Chicken
in
nuggets,
the
gross,
pun
dude.
gutter right now.
by the way, I looked at
Putter.
that base 6 thing. Can we pull this back for a second?
I wondered why you're on your phone.
Yes,
I was
just
like,
spin
why are you on your
ahead.
phone?
Yes.
Because this is crazy.
What is it?
It's not base 6. It's base 60. So, sexagesimal, also known as base 60 or sexagenary. Sorry, it's a really sexy
You're
podcast.
making soundboard designer
Pretty sexy, man.
dreams happen
Stop
right now.
talking stop speaking so sexy.
It's a numeral system with 60 as its base. It originated with the ancient Sumerians in the 3rd millennium BC, was passed down to the ancient Babylonians,
So smart.
and is still used in a modified form for measuring time, angles, and geographic coordinates. Here's why. The number 60 is a superior, highly composite number.
Ooh.
It has 12 factors. With so many factors, many fractions involving a sexagesimal number are simplified. For example, 1 hour can be divided evenly into sections of 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute. 60 is the smallest number that is divisible by every number from 1 to 6.
So you said
Ooh.
12
Wow, okay.
divisions? It has 12
It has
like
12 factors.
12 factors? Dang, so they would like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like,
That makes sense. It would be hard if an hour was 27 minutes. You'd be like,
Yeah.
can you meet me at a half hour?
But basically, yeah. So if your math system doesn't have decimals yet, need to express things in parts of something, 60 is the lowest thing in which you can easily express different parts of it that are even without decimals.
Wow, crazy. And they did that 5,000 years ago?
Well, no, it's 300 BC, so it'd be.
Oh, I thought you
23.
said the third millennium BC.
No,
2,300 years
was
ago.
it third millennium? Hold up.
You're
You're right. Third millennium BC.
So that was like 5,000 years ago.
5,000 years ago.
That's like not that much longer after writing was invented.
I can't
Yeah.
even like comprehend that far back. I can barely comprehend like the last generation. Like, yeah, there's like archival footage and stuff. Okay, I
Yeah.
can imagine it.
I love that like writing was invented so that we could share recipes for beer.
Really?
More or less. There's like a
Hell
couple
yeah.
asterisks there, but like it was like a form of accounting and also a way to like keep track of like the wheat and grains that, you know, they were farming.
Big business,
and also like how to brew beer, because beer was like the beverage of choice back then. No one really drank water because it kind of made you sick. Everyone drank beer.
Yeah, 'cause of the alcohol.
Yeah.
Is this the part where we start talking about Snow Crash and how writing?
Dude, Sumerians and Babylon.
Yeah,
and, all this,
and how
like,
writing and language was invented to create a way of mind control the peons and have them follow
Wait,
your
I
orders.
haven't read
It's
Snow
so
Crash.
good.
Stop! It's on my list.
Son, where's Jan
Put
when
it
you
to
need
the
him,
top of your
son?
list, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's one of the best books I've ever read. It's,
So that author wrote another book called Seven Eves. I've recommended this to you. You got to read it.
He also wrote Neuromancer.
wait, different.
Nope, just kidding. Not that guy. I'm wrong.
That's William Gibson. Who wrote Snow Crash?
Neil Stephenson.
Neil
Neil
Stevenson.
Stevenson, yeah.
Yes. Neuromancer was so like. Have you guys read Neuromancer?
No.
Okay, yeah. I had to like cliff notes every chapter after I read it because I was like, what the heck just happened? And it's supposed to be like a sick like. There's this character who's literally Trinity.
Mhm.
You know, before like
Trinity!
yeah,
Help! Neuromancer! Help!
it's just very confusing. But yeah, Snow Crash. Kevin Senzaki recommended that book to me, and it blew my mind, dude. It's the best book ever. It's
really good. It's really good.
I want to read it. Maybe I'll read it over this break.
There's
it's
so many great.
funny.
It's kind of like, remember the Da Vinci Code
Yeah.
in Angels and Demons, which I thought was a little bit better.
I loved Angels and Demons a lot more than Da Vinci
Yeah.
Code.
You know how like it took all these real life things and like gave 'em a little bit of a spin so it could be a fun conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
That's what Snow Crash is, with like the ideas of like VR, the metaverse. By the way, it was written in 1992, so
Right,
before this
yeah,
stuff was
yeah.
a thing. As well as like language and society and how people function. It's really cool.
Dude, it's groundbreaking. Like he's coming up with stuff like the metaverse, where you're like, there's a central hub and everyone like chills here, and but it's like, all, like the VR bodies are passing through each other, and
Yeah,
like
there's clipping and stuff.
there's clipping, and then like, you know, like that's all these like stock models. There's one of them's name is Clint, is like the stock model. It's just like a stock dude, and then there's like a Jennifer or something. I think
We took this dude out of this 30-year-old book and buried him in a microwave in the backyard
Yeah.
because of your stock 3D model.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's
I
great.
want to read that book. I really enjoyed his other book called Seven Eves. It was about like what happens. Like the book literally opens with the moon exploding.
Oh, cool.
No one knows why.
What an intro.
And they're like, oh, that sucks. And then like scientists figure out, oh yeah, all that debris from the moon is going to start raining down on the planet in about 2 years. And once it does that, everyone on Earth is going to die. So it's a mad rush just to kind of get as many people up into space as possible. And then like the hard rain comes, and that's the
Hard
first
rain.
third of the book. The second third of the book is what happens once Earth is destroyed and the last remnants of humanity are in space trying to like,
Whoa.
because humanity's humanity. There's drama, there's challenges, and it's not good. And then the last third of the book is 5,000 years in the future,
Dang.
after like Earth has been like settled down.
Most
And I don't want
authors
to
would just
say
write
anything
3
more
books.
to spoil it. What?
Most authors would just write 3 books, but I love it when they just like, no, this is one story. I'm gonna make it one story.
And the crazy thing is that like it's the same characters in the first 2/3 of the book, but then the last third, it's a completely new story, a new set of
Whoa.
characters. It's a very bold decision, and a lot of people weren't really fans of that. But I found it really fascinating because I almost want to make a video about this because it has some of the most interestingly accurate portrayals of how like space civilization could be with current understanding of physics. They have like this scorpion tail thing, like it's this space station that goes around the world, and they have like this giant long scorpion tail that unravels as it's moving, and it's able to grab stuff off the ground. And just you only got like a minute, maybe less, 30 seconds, where you can actually walk onto this thing from the ground, and then you get slingshotted into space.
like
Just
a
because
tether.
yeah, it's very much like a tether, but it's like it's It's very fascinating, and all of it is based in very real science. It's very hard sci-fi. So it's like there's no like, well, if we just kind of do this, we can do it that way. And it's like, no, this is how it works.
Kind of like The Martian was.
It's very much like The Martian, yeah. Yeah, it was a very good book. I don't know how we got onto this tangent. You guys started talking about
Sexagesimal, Sumerians,
yeah.
Babylonians.
The Sumerians and writing.
It's just like, yeah, I could keep talking about Snow Crash. I'm sorry.
Did the kayaking bit too? Like the theory that
what is that?
well, the idea that people crossed. I mean, this once again, this is probably made up, probably, but it's fun to pretend it's not. The idea that people cross the ocean by basically surfing on swells. And that's how you cover the long distances in a canoe or a kayak.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Some giant, slow-moving waves.
There's an Inuit assassin in Snow Crash who travels by via kayak.
So I read the first chapter of Snow Crash, and I stopped because one, I was listening to the book, and the narrator was kind of wonky, and he kept talking about pizza and like driving this car really fast for pizza. Guy. I get that now, but I was just like, what am I listening to? This is weird. I turned it off and I never opened it again. That was like 6 years ago.
The main bad guy, his name's Raven. He drives a motorcycle, and in the passenger seat, in the sidecar, is a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, and it's wired up to his heartbeat.
Yep. So if you kill him, the bomb goes off.
Wait. So he's got to go. He's got to go everywhere. He's got to go hauling around this nuke.
Yeah, this is the bad guy. Yeah. Because this is his protection against like if you kill me, you kill yourself. Because my nuke.
What if he needs to? What if he needs to get off the motorcycle?
No, he can. It's wired to his heartbeat. So
it's like
a bracelet he wears.
Wireless. It's like wireless. Yeah.
Or it's like an implant he has.
Wait, is this the pizza delivery
no,
guy?
this is one of the bad
guys.
guys.
The bad guy.
Oh.
What if he goes out of range?
Then it goes off. He's a psychopath.
What if he has to reset the Wi-Fi?
And it goes off. He doesn't care, man. He's a madman. He doesn't live for tomorrow.
Dude, glass knives.
Yeah. He would love to see that nuke go off.
We've given away too much.
I want to read this book. I'll try to read it over the break. I'm finishing up the fourth Stormlight archive book right now, which is a book I've been waiting for 3 years. I got it the day it came out. I'm like literally in the final 10%. And you've read at least one Sanderson book. You've read Mistborn, and he's known for having some of the most intense like last chunks of a book ever. It even has a name. It's called the Avalanche, the Sanderlanche. And I'm right at the beginning of the Avalanche of this book, and literally the only thing I want to do is continue reading this book, but I can't.
Are you saving it for Christmas break?
No, I'm saving it for the moment I get out of this podcast.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Nice.
Like I'm not emotionally ready to tackle it right now. I have to go somewhere so I can like let my emotions run free.
That's awesome.
I need to. Yeah.
Writing is pretty incredible. Yes. I mean, you think about 5,000 years ago, then people just writing down ones and zeros. Do we have wheat or no wheat? Okay, this is for wheat. This is for no wheat. Yeah. Okay, got it. And then through the process of that, multiply that by 5,000 years, and you get written history, and then just segue that right into ones and zeros for digitization of everything. And then you get the segue that right into code. Yeah.
And once again, it's the time in the podcast where I tell you about today's sponsor, Storyblocks. That's right. They are the one-stop shop for all of your stock asset needs, whether that's B-roll, motion graphics, After Effects templates, sound effects. Storyblocks has you covered, whether it's a commercial project, a video for YouTube, or just a video for yourself. Everything on there is in beautiful 4K. They have such an extensive library of content on there, you will never find or need to use the same thing twice. It's constantly being updated. Storyblocks is going to have what you need if you're looking to add another layer of quality and professionalism to everything that you're doing. So head on over to storyblocks.com. Hey, they're calling me about Storyblocks. Do you hear that? Hey, yeah, storyblocks.com/corridorcast is gonna be the place where you're gonna get everything you need. So go on there, get an unlimited all access plan. Once again, that's storyblocks.com/corridorcast. All right, see you out there. Oh, okay, the telemarketer hung up on me. But seriously, guys, storyblocks.com/corridorcast, that's where you're gonna go to find this awesome tool that we use around here. Let's get back to the podcast.
I read to continue with books here. I read a book. The reason why I brought that up is because I read this book called like The History of the World in 6 Drinks. And it was like, basically it started off with like the book is about how civilization is literally driven by these 6 drinks. and it started off with beer, and then I believe it went into wine. I think I'm getting the order kind of wrong here on the earlier ones, and then it went to like hard alcohol, like rum, in like the 7 C's or whatever, you know. Then it went to coffee, I believe, or tea.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
one of those two. It was coffee and then tea, or it was tea and then coffee. I forget the order. But then lastly, it was Coca-Cola.
What?
Those are the most important drinks in the history of humankind.
Wow.
So beer and wine are the original rudimentary assets, if you will, the raw material that you need to
Spirits.
make
That was what it was.
to make spirits, to make brandy and whiskey, respectively. That's brandy is a wine base, and you know, beer is a wheat base, a rye base. So those are the two sort of bases that hard alcohol came from. They were like, hey, you know, this beer is pretty good, but what if we took a bunch of beer and condensed it into a single beer? That would be even better. And that's basically what happened. And then coffee. I don't know what's older, Ren, coffee or tea, but I do know it may be, but coffee's also really old.
Coffee, I was surprised to learn how old coffee was. I think coffee is older because tea kind of started becoming a big deal with like India and whatnot. I
feel like China has been on tea forever.
Well, yeah, China, and the Far East, obviously, they had that figured out from day one.
Not gonna lie, I also use this book as my go to sleep book. It's time for me to go to sleep. I'm gonna start reading this book.
Tea beats coffee by, guess how much?
2 years.
No.
500 years.
No.
A month, dude.
No.
Because they're like, if I can put this leaf in hot water, I can put this bean a day.
A cherry.
Are you talking like when it was
Tea predates coffee by 4,500 years.
Okay, so that also predates spirits.
They got beat by quite a bit. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
But I don't think tea was like the economic force it was until much later. Because tea was like a huge deal. Like companies and nations were built around the idea of trading tea.
Yeah, the India Tea Company.
Yeah.
Great Britain and lots of tea over there.
Oof.
Yeah, they also liked their what was that stuff called? They got opium. Opium, yeah. They liked that quite a bit. Yeah, I guess coffee is the second most globally distributed product, or it's like right near the top behind oil.
Oh, really?
It's pretty remarkable how that's come onto the scene over the last 500 years or so.
Everybody's needs a caffeine bump, I guess.
Yeah. Well, tea's got caffeine too.
True.
But
it's a different kind of like energy, that you get from tea. When I drink tea, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm like, but when I drink coffee, I'm definitely like,
Do you like being like,
No, I don't. It's
Ren,
like very.
Do you drink tea or coffee?
I drink coffee.
Jake, do you drink tea or coffee?
I drink both, mostly coffee.
Coffee, Clint?
Both.
Does
one more than the other?
I like the taste of coffee better, but I like the feeling of tea better.
Christian, do you drink tea or coffee? Coffee from Christian? Interesting. I don't drink any.
That's good, yeah. I mean, it's like...
I just never liked the flavor of coffee.
I've always enjoyed the smell of coffee, but for the longest time, like literally just about a year or two ago, I started actually enjoying drinking coffee. Never was a big fan. Also, I'm lactose intolerant, so like creamer always just was bad for my system until I learned that like almond beverage actually works really well.
Well, it's like
can't say almond milk.
Canceled, dude. What is it?
Wait, why can't you say almond milk?
Because the milk lobbies, big milk, forced
big milk,
big cheese,
big cheese.
Dude, big
almond milk isn't a milk. Our milk subsidies are going away.
Big cow teat putting down everybody else.
Yeah.
For their cheese and their milk.
No, that's for your.
And their ice cream.
Wait, did they actually like take him to court and saying you can't brand it as milk?
They made it was like a legislation. Like it was a.
Oh, this is like one of those European kind of things, saying like it can only be called champagne when it comes from Champagne in France. Like
kind of actually, yeah. It was because, you know, Big Milk, they had the money to spend to get the legislation passed.
If you could
What
like,
a waste of time.
In California. I don't know if that's nationwide.
What a waste of time. Sorry. I'm done.
if you could visualize Milk as a person, what would they look like?
You.
No,
No, I know, I'm playing.
No
I see where
way.
you're going with that.
Baymax.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say the Michelin Man, but I was like, he's too bumpy. Baymax is smooth. So Baymax.
I feel like they'd be kind of like a frumpy white dude.
Yeah.
Like
a Colonel
like,
Sanders.
Smooth.
I saw this tweet
not like
recently
Colonel
that-
Sanders,
Milk is smooth.
like a dude that hasn't really been outside a whole lot, you know?
No, they're
Like-
like
Does he wear sandals?
cold. It's like almost like Mr. Clean.
This
You know?
guy's jacked.
Maybe not so jacked. Just a little bit. Milk makes you strong. Gives you strong bones.
Just an average.
I mean, most of that is just, I forget the word for it. Something about, not tarp. What do you call it? Fake grass?
Turf.
Turf. Anyway, so milk.
AstroTurf.
Astroturfing. Yeah, it's just like so much of that is just like it's not actually real benefits of milk. It's just the companies that have been advertising that for years. Totally lost my train of thought with what I was trying to go for there, though.
But you're saying that it doesn't actually make your bones strong?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
It
you
might
don't
have-
need any more calcium once your bones stop growing at like 22. I mean, you need some calcium, but you don't need like the amount.
Oh no, I was gonna say. I saw this tweet that was really interesting. It was one of those like 4-picture panel things of like these psychopaths from movies drinking milk, and it's like, you know, you got the dude from what was it? The I'm awful at this right now.
the Glorious Bastards.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Also the girl from Get Out, and the dude who had like that little nail gun, little compressed air nail gun that he'd put it up to a person's head.
Oh,
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
what's
Thank
his
you.
name?
Javier
No
Bardem.
Country
Javier
for Old
Bardem.
Men.
yeah, his name was like Shakid or something like that.
Hakeem?
What was his name in the movie?
Shaka Khan.
Oh, he had a crazy name.
Yeah.
But they all have a scene where they drink milk, and it's creepy.
Dude, when he like looks
Yeah.
in the TV from that movie. Yeah, you remember No Country where he like sits down and he like pops some milk and he's just,
Sugar.
Anton
Anton
Sugar.
Chigurh, yeah.
Anton Sugar.
And he just sits in what's his name's house.
I barely remember the movie, to be honest.
Oh my god, he sits in the main character's house and he just drinks milk and he sits on the couch.
Yeah.
And then he leaves. And then Tommy Lee Jones is the detective hunting him down. And he rolls up 5 minutes later and he sits on the couch and he looks at, like, there's a shot when Anton Chigurh was in the house, there was a shot of him in the reflection of the TV that was turned off. And it was like distorted and creepy. And when Tommy Lee Jones comes in 5 minutes later, he sees the glass of milk and it's still cold.
Oh yeah.
And he looks at the TV and it's Tommy Lee Jones's reflection in the TV. And it's like, dude, he was so close. He was so close to catching this guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that movie is a masterpiece.
It
gotta see it
is.
again.
It's wonderful. It's a
Dude.
great modern Western.
Oh my
One of the
God.
few. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, man. It's so good.
Llewellyn Moss.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really got the names right in that one. You know, like an old country boy from Texas named Llewellyn.
Just the
Yeah.
beginning of that movie when he's hunting and he, he's a hunter, right? So the movie's about two hunters hunting each other, in different ways. And
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie, like he's wrapping up his little hunt, and then he comes across all of these like lifted trucks in the middle of the like desert in Texas, I think, and they're in a circle, and he just sees there's bullets and bodies and guts and blood and cocaine, and he's like, oh my god, and he finds up by this tree a guy who got away. And he's like chained to a briefcase and he pops it and it's full of like $2 million. And he's like, he takes it.
$2 million in a briefcase?
Yeah, or $1 million or whatever. And then he goes home and he starts sleeping. And then he wakes up in the middle of the night because there was a guy who was alive. He's like, water, and he left him there. And he wakes up in the middle of the night. He's like, God dang it. And he goes back and he brings water. And
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
yeah, he brings him the water and he's gone. And then he sees headlights come up over the ridge, just like at midnight, just like, and these trucks looking over. And he looks and he sees like his truck, these new trucks. And they're like popping his tires, and he's like, "Oh crap!" And then it goes from there, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's great, and it's Coen Brothers directed.
Deacon
Scott
shot it.
Rudin produced. Yeah, that's a classic.
Gotta watch it again now.
There's some like directors, writers, and DPs that you just want them to stay together and make movies until they're dead.
Yeah.
Just, Coen Brothers, Roger Deakins, they should just shoot things together forever. Was it Andrew Garland or whatever? The guy did Sicario.
Oh no, Denis Villeneuve.
Oh yeah, Dennis Villeneuve or whatever.
Villanueva.
Is it Villeneuve
too?
No, it's Villeneuve. Is that how it's pronounced?
I thought so.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure.
We'd have to just look up some like
Villeneuve?
interview with him.
That sounds better.
Villeneuve. Yeah, Deakins as well.
Yeah,
Both.
ideally those two. Ideally, those two always shoot movies together forever.
They're on a roll, and it's like Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor should always do movies with
David Fincher.
David Fincher. Yeah,
Always. Forever.
So good.
Dude, Trent Reznor did the soundtrack for the Watchmen show.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
It was a very good show, very good soundtrack.
They're so good.
Yeah.
The 10-inch nails.
10-inch.
Now, full question. Maybe everybody's opinion is different. Is it fingernails or carpentry nails?
Huh?
What?
9-inch nails.
Wait, I probably know what it is now that I think about
Oh,
it.
I see what you're saying.
Oh.
Oh, like
I actually
coffin
don't
nails?
know.
I always assumed they were real nails and just really big nails.
But carpentry nails.
Yes.
I
As
never
opposed to
thought
fingernails.
about it.
I see what you're saying.
Is it a biblical reference? Is it a reference to like how big the nails were that they used to like pin
Ooh,
Jesus to the cross?
maybe.
Dude,
It's like
That
those
could
edgy
be.
like metal band names.
Or maybe it's like a railroad deal.
That would be a total metal band name thing to do.
Yeah, it'd be a really metal thing. Or maybe it's just a railroad reference.
It's
Let
like
me
my
see, let me
grandpa
see.
was really into railroads and he used to build them.
I'm really into carpentry.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah. Other rumored okay, this is a rumored explanation alleging that Reznor's choice to reference Jesus' crucifixion with 9-inch spikes or Freddy Krueger's 9-inch fingernails. I think maybe that's all part of the same origin. Like
9-inch
even
Nails
Freddy.
is such a good name for a band.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's
It
great.
seemed a little random to me.
Nin.
It's
Nin.
got the alliteration going.
True. It does sound edgy.
Do you, when people ask you, so like, what kind of music you're into, you're like, Nin, bro. And
Nin.
really, Nin? And you're like, yeah. You ever heard of them? Nin?
They stand under a street lamp.
Anything else? You're like, no, just 9-inch nails.
None.
That's it.
Is Reznor his last name? 'Cause that also sounds like I made up. Like, my name is Trent Reznor. That's with the Z.
It's too cool
From
of
the
a
band 9-inch Nails.
Yeah.
Or Nin.
Well, I was surprised to learn just how many people in Hollywood have fake names.
Yeah.
Like
that's crazy.
all of them.
Yeah.
Tom
Like,
Cruise.
it's just like such an accepted
culprit
thing that
number
once you go
one.
into like becoming an actor and you get like an agent, you get assigned a new name that actually sounds good
Yeah.
and like rolls off the tongue, looks good on the credits. And it's just like, because I remember seeing a couple actors like, oh yeah, no, this is my stage name or like this is my Hollywood name, and I'm just like, wait, what? That's not your real name? It's like, but no one knows the real name.
Like Mike Diva.
Well, I mean that's a little different. But
I mean,
kind of.
He
kind
talks
of.
about like, he's like, I should have picked something else than Diva. But you know what? It does roll off the tongue really well.
I still call him Mike Diva as opposed to
Yeah.
just Mike.
Yeah.
Something about it, it does stick with him really well.
Yeah.
And same with some of the others.
Because he's such a diva.
Like in Due Date when Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis' character's like, yeah, well, Ethan Tremblay is not my real name. That's my stage name. My real name's Ethan Chase. And he's like, wait, Ethan Chase? Ethan Chase is a way better name.
Is that the movie where he like lets his father's ashes go
Yeah.
and they blow back
Yeah.
into his face?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they drink them in the coffee
Yes.
with Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
boy.
such a good movie, man. Like it's
Dude.
such a good comedy.
Zach Galifianakis is so funny, man. What a character.
Did you guys watch the Between Two Ferns movie on Netflix?
Yeah.
I did not.
Did not.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
It wasn't good.
I actually liked it, but really just because I got some more of the Between Two Ferns parts and the bloopers are funny.
Did you do Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the interviews are the best part, you know?
Yeah. That's all I wanted to see. They,
sure.
they were funny.
Did that
Yeah.
start as like a Comedy Central show, or
Yeah.
was that just
or
online,
Die.
or how? Where did that start?
Funny or Die.
Isn't that Comedy Central?
Okay,
Will
no,
Ferrell's
Funny
company.
or Die is Will Ferrell started actually.
You're right.
okay.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
And didn't Funny or Die just recently die?
Did they?
Or they get bought out?
I
don't
thought they went
Funny
under.
enough.
Like I thought I saw some news about Funny or Die going under recently. Like in the last half year.
Well, that'd be sad.
Yeah, you're right. It did start on Funny or Die.
Funny or Die sounds like the internet from 15 years ago.
Yeah, black or albino black sheep is
Yep.
like
About a Black Sheep, E-Bum's World, something awful. Funny or Die. Like, it falls right into that.
5-second films.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
The internet of lore.
I miss the internet of lore.
The internet
I mean-
of war.
Lore.
Is it of lore or of your? Maybe it's of your.
Oh, maybe it's of
yore.
yore. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. But there's the lore too.
That's
lore
that's why I
of the
said
internet.
lore.
All right, so to change topics a little bit, guys, I kind of want to talk about our year in review / what we want to do next year.
Oh man, this is a
Alright.
big topic.
I know, seriously.
A little bit. So
Yeah.
usually at the beginning of every year, we have like a meeting where we kind of like discuss our goals for the year. Like what kind of things do we want to focus on in the content that we create? And this year, last year, so 2019, I was like, all right, I'm going to make all these science videos. I'm going to make a bunch of them. I'm going to make one every single month. And I proceeded to make 7. And
The Dirty Dozen.
the Dirty Dozen,
and then
yeah.
is the Sneaky 7 or
Sneaky 7.
Ren's Elite 8.
Yeah.
the Naughty
Ren's
9?
The Naughty 9, yeah.
Ren's sort of 7.
So,
Set of 7.
and that was just because like I couldn't make them all, because to make 12, it would have to be like my full-time thing. So then this year my goal was to focus more on drone content and 3D printing content. And I'd say I pretty successfully did both of those things. But lately, like the last month or so, we've been working on functional filmmaking. You guys have both already filmed your parts. I'm filming my part tomorrow. But in making this script for functional filmmaking, which is about how I make those videos of yore, it got me really like, I want to make more of those again. So
They're
maybe
so
next
good.
year I'll make more.
They're so good, man. Like they're
Well, thank
really
you.
good. It's
Thank
the
you.
you are the like VFX Bill Nye. Really, like really.
That's a high compliment.
It's
High
legit. No,
praise.
seriously.
I
Like,
agree.
High praise.
they're so much fun to watch, and I just want to see more. And I will help you do VFX on every single one.
Cool.
Dude,
well,
that's
I really
very
want
generous
to
of
do
you,
the how many balloons would it really take to lift the house from up?
That's a really good
Oh, God.
great.
video.
I want to do that one.
Yeah.
Nobody steal that idea, please.
No, I'm already working on it. I've got a script written. I'm already like in pre-production.
No, like yeah, I finished that first
What if
shot.
somebody just makes a video and then you hit play and just like 5,624, and that's the end of the video.
It'd probably have a lot of views. It'd probably get a lot of views.
It's just like how to microwave bread. You just stand there for 20 seconds and then you just say 5,624.
Yep.
And the video abruptly ends.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want. I want to make more of those videos again. I miss doing them because I only made one video this year, and that was the one right at the beginning of quarantine, talking about exponential growth, talking about COVID, spread, that stuff. But the
Yeah.
other thing I really want to get into is learning Unreal Engine. I think it's time.
Hey,
I
I'm
think
right
it's
there with
time
ya.
to get into the real-time rendering workplace.
Yes, that is certainly a goal of mine. I actually started this year. Earlier this year, I started, and it. Oh my god. Okay, so this actually happened to me like 8 years ago.
What?
You got turned into an Unreal Engine?
Very similar. No. I was in a predicament where I started out. My first 3D program I ever learned was Cinema 4D, and well, not the very first, but it was the first like legit one. And there were no good C4D tutorials anywhere on the internet. And I was actually making C4D tutorials for like cgtuts.com.
Yep. I remember seeing your tuts on aetutsplus.com
That one too. Yeah, and like I was just bummed out that like all these sick tutorials are for 3ds Max. I'm like, God, screw 3ds Max. They got all the good tuts. Like, why can't C4D get the good tuts? And I eventually ended up dropping C4D, giving up on it,
Going to 3ds Max.
and switching to 3ds Max because you guys were on 3ds Max and you guys had a lot to teach me.
Well, them. I wasn't on 3ds Max at that time. I got on 3ds Max because you guys were on 3ds Max.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like in hindsight, it's like, oh man, I could have done like the Video Copilot, but for C4D, but
Yeah.
that's Grayscale Gorilla, you know. And the point of the story is I quit because there weren't any good tuts, and that's what happened with me in Unreal, it's very hard to say that I quit. I stopped.
You moved on.
You
shelved it. You shelved it.
I shelved it. But it's something I definitely want to get good at. It's like the Quixel Rebirth. If you guys don't know what that is, like, look it up right now. Watch it. You know.
I know. Holy crap, that's so good.
And then Memories of Australia is.
Yes, that's another amazing one.
Oh my!
That blew me away. I couldn't believe
yeah.
that was like. It was so unreal.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Dude, the dad jokes are strong in this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's
Clint,
cool.
you guys have the news to share with us?
If all you guys get into Unreal, like, I think there's gonna be some magic next year with that.
The main inspirations for me for like learning Unreal, one, obviously just the stagecraft we've started seeing with the Mandalorian, like being able to have like an LED wall behind you and then like real-time rendering and all that stuff. That's like, in my opinion, the coolest technology leap in the last couple decades as far as like filmmaking goes. But more than that, I'm really getting into VR, and I want to make like VR experiences. I want to meld some sort of way to turn like filmmaking or something into like a VR experience. I don't exactly know how to do that yet, or even what that really means. Like I even started experimenting with like 3D video. I put like a 3D camera on my drone and flew it around. I showed you that.
That was a trip.
Yeah, and it's like, it works really well. You have to kind of have a strong stomach for some of the things I was doing, but like, I don't know. I wonder if there's a way I can expand on that. So right now, I'm gonna try to see if I can learn how to make just like a simple game, a simple interface in VR using Unreal, and hopefully just the more things I do with that, the more opportunities open for the things that we can make.
Just like the mocap suit. Like we got a
yeah.
tool, and then you use it and you make a video with it. You know.
And of course, Sam has been like the pioneer for Unreal here at the studio this year. He's been working away. He's working on Avatar 2 right now. He took it away from James Cameron.
Snatched it. Yeah.
Snatched. Yeah. I mean, no, Ren, like if that's something you guys, because what I could see happening is like we could collectively make something like that, and then we could put it out as a piece of content. We could put it out as a game. Like there's a number of different eventual distribution mediums for it. I mean, obviously, and then obviously we have the entire Greenlight show that we need to. Well, it hasn't been greenlit yet, but the Local Zero show, like in about 2 more months, that thing's going to get greenlit too. And so there's a whole journey of creative stuff that needs to happen there.
So I don't want to say much because it's still super early days, but so Peter has spent the last like 2 or 3 weeks like crash coursing hard through Unreal. He's getting pretty good at it. He's got like a little FPS game that he's made. But so between him, Sam, and the 3 of us, we might make a game. But it's a maybe. It's a maybe. But Sam has some really good ideas.
A game jam game, I should just mention. Not like a let's sit down for 8 months and grind out. Like no, this would be a initially. Who knows what the future holds?
The idea Sam has is I'm not gonna say it, but like it's the idea is that it's simple and I don't know. I don't want to say more.
Sam's idea is you take the universe, all right? Now imagine you can be anywhere in that universe. Procedural planets, procedural characters, everything computer generated. You dream it, you can live it. That's Sam's idea for the game.
I mean, it's not.
Done in a couple weeks.
But I don't know. I feel like with all of your guys' experience with Node and playing games and all that, I think Sam has some really interesting ideas that should be fairly easy to implement into a game format.
That'd be cool.
But in a way that we can just do it. We don't have to wait for someone else to make it, and we can maybe make something and distribute it on the website.
The more you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's how we've gotten this far just doing that to begin with. So I see no reason to stop now, just because it maybe not necessarily will fit into four corners of a video.
Yeah. Well, they come out with the 5-corner screen next year too.
Yeah, the 5-corner video is really the next thing, just like the triangle monitor was 2019's thing.
Yeah, and then I've seen
every year gets another
shrimp.
Shrimp
aspect
screen
ratio. Have you guys seen those shrimp aspect ratio videos?
Dude, I have. Yeah.
Those things are freaking crazy.
My favorite are the Easter eggs that creators will put into the fingers of the shrimp.
Oh, the Easter eggs?
Yeah, like the little story Easter eggs that aren't in the center of the shrimp body, but like are on the, you know, the fringes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're small,
I'm
but
actually-
if you look
I've-
closely.
Yeah, they're there.
It was really expensive, but I have a 4K shrimp shaped monitor that's actually coming to my house.
Oh, nice.
What, you got one?
Yeah, I got in
Dang,
early on
was
it
about to say,
before
it's like
they
those are
before they ran
hard
out
to
of the
find.
supply, you know, when the demand spiked.
What's the frame rate on that thing?
I think the refresh rate's like 150.
Dude, 150 hertz? Nice.
Yeah,
bad for a shrimp
so
screen.
you know, pretty great. I think 60 60 frames a second. You know, 90 frames a second.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, I kind of want to legit like
It doesn't
mock up
matter.
a shrimp monitor and then like comp it into my desk like it's real and just track it in and just like it's like in the background of, no it's like I'm at my computer in a crew video and I'm just talking about like this and I just like comp in a shrimp screen, you know?
Well, you know what we could do is you could gaff tape a regular monitor into a shrimp shape and then like put tracking markers on it and erase the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I feel like we should
See-
play a version of Boulder Dash where we just list off goofy gear and it's like you have to guess if it's real or fake, and then the person's like, no, it's real, or you know, whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
pull up on B&H. We're like, all right, so this piece of gear will keep your hands warm when you are holding a boom pole. It's like real or fake.
Dude,
It's
this
called-
sounds
it's
like
called
a
the digit warmer. Yeah.
this sounds
They're
like
like
a good premise for a
gloves.
corridor digital short film. Do you remember back in the day when we used to make corridor shorts?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Man, remember Mudface?
Yeah.
Man, that feels like it was so long ago.
It
really
was
does.
it was January.
I know, but it
That
still
was
is part
a
of this.
year
It was
ago.
this year though. Still,
That's
like that's
so
from,
weird.
that's from the current era, of the channel. But that feels like it feels like it was another era long ago.
It seriously does.
When
So
we used
weird.
to
I mean, a
eat
lot has happened since
in
then.
restaurants.
I was gonna suggest that that you guys get together maybe on like Friday, because there's some like Clint, Ren, Peter, Nico. I think you might have some time. I was gonna suggest you guys get together and start brainstorming for some ideas for next year.
I do have an idea
um,
for Tether for the website.
It's been a minute since anyone's really had a proper
Don't you
brainstorming
mean the
session.
beast?
No, I don't mean the beast actually. I mean Tether, OG Tether.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's for another time. We got some shows to make first.
So, but like the beast, is the beast over? Is that like
The beast is over for now. For now.
that
We'll
means
see.
it's over?
Over for now.
I mean, it's a script. You know, you never know.
It's in that dusty shelf in the back of the closet.
Well, the other reason why we should do that, not just for corridor videos, but also for website ideas, like
Yeah.
a lot of times, like all the stuff that's on the website currently is all stuff that we've sort of had floating around in the ether of the idea verse, you know, in some shape or form that we've pulled into the site. And so just the process of like spitballing and picking out ideas that you like, oftentimes, you know, the test of time proves whether those ideas are like good or not if you keep coming back to them and you keep liking them, and usually they find their way to something at some point or another. So I just think it's a healthy process.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Got to keep those brain juices flowing.
Them brain cells moving, boys.
Gotta keep them brain cells moving.
But okay, what about you guys? What are your hopes for next year?
My hopes for next year, definitely get good with Unreal. I want to get to the point where I can get that Quixel Rebirth or Memories of Australia quality down.
Oh man,
For me, reasoning is less that I want to make a game, but more the fact that if I can create a photoreal environment from scratch, or it could be any environment, I don't have to physically go there. Like, it's so good for like matte paintings or like you know, establishment shots, that kind of stuff. So like the whole reason I got into 3D was because if I could think of it, then I can make it. And
Yeah.
if I have
Yeah.
the technical info or the technical know-how, then there's literally nothing stopping me. So that's why I want to learn, is like to just expand the ability to tell any story possible. And also I love just beautiful art, like beautiful landscapes. It's like, dude, gets me amped. It gets me so amped.
I want to make a video where I'm standing on the moon talking about the moon, and I
Dude.
want to use like Unreal to make that happen.
That'd be sick.
I have this. I don't want to say more about the moon idea, but it's a very specific idea.
That's great.
You need to have on like a Buzz Lightyear costume when you do that, Ren.
Buzz, dude. That's great.
What about you, Nico?
I got a couple of different aspirations, honestly. With Corridor having grown so much, especially this year, and it's been tricky this year because obviously, we haven't been in the studio for a lot of the year. There's a vibe that Corridor had when it was like 6 people. You knew each other, you were working on projects together. It was all just like collective, pursuits. And as Corridor has gotten bigger, especially with not everybody being in the studio, it's hard to feel like that's all one thing still. It's hard to feel like it's one group of people having a good time, creating art, being passionate, etc. It's still happening. Like, every thing coming out is being led by someone who is just excelling at what they do. But the sense of I guess, community is a little skinny right now. I mean, I guess compared to like any regular corporate job, like there's way more sense of community here than there. But like, I don't see everybody very often. I see Clint probably like 3 out of the 5 days of the week. I see Ren more often. I feel like 4 to 5 of the days of the week. I see Sam pretty frequently, but like, I see Peter 2 days of the week. I see Nick for like a day and a half. Like, I don't get to spend a lot of time with everybody right now. And I'd like to get back to that more like, get more into like bringing everybody together and getting a feel for what we can try to accomplish with that group. Now that's like big pie in the sky, like, overview of Corridor stuff. But like in terms of like endeavors, personal endeavors, artistic endeavors, I want to get back into filmmaking without all the burden. I want to get back into like the imaginative world building kind of filmmaking without all the burdens that came with that. Because back in the day when you wanted to do that, that meant a lot of matte paintings and visual effects, which is kind of, what inspired a lot of visual effects for myself when I got into it. But you end up spending like a week to do like your 5 opening shots of your piece. And it's not possible to like just tell a cool story. Like a lot of what held me back as a filmmaker in a way was the visual effects in certain regards, in certain ways of telling stories. It also, greatly accelerated other parts of my filmmaking. But it's one of those things where if you start off learning how to do cool things, you might miss out on how to do good dialogue and that kind of stuff. And I've spent a lot of time trying to catch up on that. I feel like I finally kind of wrapped my head around at least basic story function a little bit more, and like directing actors and getting what you need from a shoot to, get a story told. And I feel like so many burdens have disappeared. Everything from like expensive cameras have disappeared to we have a crew like in studio now. Like we don't like there's a problem. Like when we were like 22, 23 years old and we were like making videos, like none of our friends had jobs yet. So not a big deal. You can get together on like a Tuesday and you could shoot something.
Yeah.
Then once you hit like 24, 25, all your friends have careers and nobody can shoot on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. Only people that you can pay to come in. But you don't know any of those people because you never work with them. Like, you got to hire an actor or a crew member. But like Corridor now has grown to the point where it's like, now there's people here in studio where we have a team and we just go out and shoot stuff again. And we know enough people that do the other things professionally that are now close enough friends and acquaintances that we can pull them in at any time as well because they do that for their job. And so, all these burdens that were preventing, I guess certain types of filmmaking, I want to like jump back into that filmmaking and pursue it.
Yeah.
Fart Attack 2.
Fart Attack 2. Actually, just to get specific, I want to shoot a piece on the phone. I want to shoot a piece on the iPhone 12 and just be like, boom, here it is. I want to
World's longest
make a cool
lightsaber.
show. Well, you remember the Boardsman idea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to shoot that. We have all these great inroads to so many people in the stunt community. And like, there's this idea that we have, and it's just like, it involves us, the characters. I mean, we're not playing ourselves, but we're kind of playing ourselves.
Playing exaggerated versions of ourselves.
Right. But it's like, and we're on our wheels, we're doing what we love, we're rolling around LA, like in all these crazy places we get to. It just captures all those special things of the moment, like that you have. And you just shoot on your phone, you shoot with your friends, you do a cool fight scene. Like fight scenes don't involve crazy VFX. Like you can just shoot them and you're done with them. They're fun. Like I just want to do that and like tell a story and get it out there and be like, I'm done. And then move on to like the next one. I don't want it to be precious. I just want to shoot it and tell a cool story and not be burdened and I'm going to just create and just do that.
Yeah. I feel very similar. There's a part of me that feels like my first goal saying of, learning Unreal Engine, but then there's also another goal of don't pigeonhole myself and just do VFX, because I could do VFX all day long and it's like could be really easy, but I want to challenge myself. So I need to dive in and tell stories and work on dialogue and direct stuff. I feel like I haven't directed anything in a long time.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
None of us have. I haven't directed anything. Well, aside being director of photography on the commercial, like I haven't directed anything since Tactical 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the COVID-19 thing really threw a wrench in a lot of that progress that we were making up to that point. Hopefully that some of that stuff can start to subside next year and those doors can open back up, because that's kind of like, that's a beating heart of a part of what we do anyways, and the idea of like, okay, here's an idea for a piece, but then here's, a creative challenge that we face along the way. Here's us reflecting on the good and the bad of it on the podcast. Here's us, maybe putting out a select piece of something or another on the website. Like all of that stuff goes into the flow of our overall like content ecosystem. And, without it and without like those ideas bubbling to the top, like, it's not like we've been as bad off as some people this year, but I have seen a specific point this year with everything going on where we've been, that's how it's directly affected us, is it's that sort of like, okay, what's the next like boss town dynamics? What's the next like idea that we put out there that, is like capturing attention, but also we're doing it in our way that is utilizing the resources that we have. And with a little bit of that, like, just put it out there and see and move on. And yeah, I think that's like super important. And I would love to see some of that come back this year as we move into next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 So there you have it. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this started very eccentric from base 60 numbers.
Then we started talking about books. I loved it.
Yeah. Finally ending on some existential life pursuits. That's pretty much the flow of most of these podcasts.
Wait,
isn't
Jake,
it?
what are you hoping to achieve next year?
Yeah, Jake, what are you hoping to achieve
Well,
next year?
I mean, I kind of was like stepping on it there, but that's effectively it. Like,
Fair.
by primarily making sure that like, I mean, my primary focus is on the website now, like, and making sure that is doing what we want it to do. Because overall, the whole idea behind that site is to create a more solid foundation from which we can continue to develop ideas. Mm-hmm. And to eliminate some of that burden of like, how do you do it if you need X amount of money, or you need X amount of time, or you need to take the whole crew and you need to do this for X amount of days. Like the idea is to eliminate some of that. And we're small right now, but like with each time we scale it, each show we put out, each new show that gets greenlit, like it grows a little bit bigger. And eventually the goal is to make that big enough where we can just have a little bit more financial freedom to continue to create things. And that's kind of always been the goal. Like how do you free up your time to be able to do X, Y, and Z? And that's certainly going to be one of my primary focuses next year.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm glad we have you then.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad to do it, man. It's like, I was so happy to see that website. I was just recording a thing for Daniel earlier today, just talking about like how, I mean, Scott, I don't know if people know this yet, but Scott is now, starting in March, he's coming on full time to work on the site.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so this will be a 2-year journey for him.
I didn't realize
a 2-year journey going from the first time that he emailed us in May of 2019 to basically 2 years later now like seeing the thing come to fruition, seeing it go through all the evolution, finally seeing some revenue come his way so that he can actually start to step away from his day job and now do this. I mean, think about this. The guy's built the whole thing on nights and weekends. Like,
Wow.
It's pretty ridiculous when you think about it. So I'm super excited for that. And I feel like with him in our corner, you know, the flexibility to like bend and shift the site to suit our needs for what we want to create. Obviously, like with a idea and content first mentality on the website. I don't know. I'm super excited about it. Like you combine that flexibility with like what you guys are going to learn and do with Unreal, and like with, you know, some Nico's ideas and like it just, I see the whole thing just working really well. And I just want to keep that going.
Cool. Sweet.
I like Scott. I like him.
I do
He's
too.
cool. I'm glad to have him on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, good job, Scott. That's really the moral of this podcast. Yeah.
I didn't know
All
nights
right.
and weekends. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like he would take his vacation time and work on the site, and you know, like every time he's
rock
6
star.
hours ahead of us or whatever in LA or in London. So you know, every time I talk to him, like in the middle of the day, it's 10 o'clock his time, and he's still grinding out whatever he's got to do.
Right. Yeah.
Man. Good stuff. Well, thanks for listening,
Yep.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's our podcast
Yeah.
for today. And we'll see you guys in next week's. Jake, any parting message you want for anyone?
If you haven't gotten any merch, it might be sold out by the time you hear this. So sorry. Follow us on Instagram if you want to know when it comes out, or join quarterdigital.com, whatever. Either one's fine.
It's
Good stuff.
It's Christmas time
Christmas
again.
time.
It's time to be nice to the people you can't stand all year. I'm
That's
growing
not what
tired of
Christmas
all
is
the
about,
Christmas
Ren.
cheer.
Yes, that's right. All right. Happy December, everybody. We're not Christmas yet, so I'm not going to say Merry Christmas yet, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. All
We'll
right.
get there. All right.
See you guys.